Oh yes, welcome. I am Saint Germain. We welcome you all. There has been much turmoil on the planet for the past few weeks. There has been much brought to the surface. As a collective, you've chosen to bring this pain to the surface in order to be transmuted back to love. There are many of you who are saying, I felt so alone. I felt so abandoned. How could God turn on me again? This cannot be happening again. Why is this happening again? And we are saying that as a collective, you've chosen to bring these frequencies to the surface to be loved, and this time you will be heard. This time you will have a voice. This time change will occur. Many other lifetimes and many other times in this lifetime you have had we would say blocks in your road of recovery, blocks in your road of getting your power back, and we would say the block has been crushed. The block has been plowed down. The machines have come in and knocked over the concrete. This is what you have done as collective. You have poked the hornet's nest and stirred up the bees. You have crashed down the cement walls, and you will now have a voice. We would say that as a collective you have brought to the surface much needed frequencies of hate and rage and anger and powerlessness to be transmuted back to love. As you brought those to the surface as a collective across the nations, we were transmuting this fear back to love. It has shifted now to enough of a tipping point to where we can bring in new frequencies on the planet. They have begun to come onto the planet, frequencies of love that have not been on the planet before, or have been coming in since yesterday. They will continue to envelop the lands on over the next week. This would be a new blanket of love on the planet. This time you will feel sea change. This time you will have a voice, and this time you will feel healing. You will feel less judgment. You will see less judgment. You will notice the collective's energy will be kinder. It would be that you would have more respect, and there will be a peacefulness amongst many. This would be slowly integrating over the next few months. We would say that those of you who have never seen change in your lifetime will begin to see things in a new way. You will begin to perceive the greatness that you are. You will begin to see a reflection of your perfection and beauty. We would say that those of you who have not had a voice, those of you who have been judged, will start to see the beauty and perfection reflecting back to you in your own perfection. You are perfect in every way. There has been nothing less than perfection at all times. This is that the collective could not see it. They will begin to perceive everyone as equal and everyone as beautiful. We would say that everything is in perfect alignment. It was a rough week, we would say, from your perception, as many people were felt tortured, and many emotions were brought up from the past lifetimes, or through your DNA, the pain through your DNA. Many nightmares and many tears were shed. We would say many hearts were broken, but as they were broken, you have been integrating frequencies to heal. There has been enough raised from the collective consciousness to transmute these frequencies back to love, to find a new way. We would say that many of you are saying, well, why was this happening again? Why did it have to happen again? Could it not have happened a different way? And we would say that it was brought to the surface in this way. It was brought to the planet to bring the darkness into the light. It had to be loud in order for it to be people to be motivated to change. Would you have protested and fought for your rights if it had not been loud? It had to be a big trigger in order for change to happen. In the any system outside of yourself is going to be shattered. It will collapse. Every system that you trusted outside of yourself will be brought to the light that there has never been anything outside of you. Many of you who have been shattered in this way of judgment and of power powerlessness, we would say you will begin to see those reflecting back to you in your own perfection. They will begin to see your beauty and your perfection, and we'll begin to see everyone as equal. This will be slowly integrating over the next few months and continue over the next few years. You will notice a shift in the energy. If you turn into the subtle energies, you will notice a more peacefulness within yourself and within others as you begin to perceive others as a reflection of yourself. You will notice your own beauty more deeply. We would say you are all divine perfection. There is not one better than the other, and everyone is equal. We would say that all these systems must be shattered. They must be collapsing. Anything that you trusted outside of yourself, we would say many people trust doctors and nurses, and many people trust the medical system. Will the medical system be collapsing? We would say it would be changing. Yes, there will be a new way. There will be ways where you will not look outside of yourself anymore. The policing system needed to change. You have accomplished those changes this week with your frequencies that you have brought to the surface. You will change the system. We would say that it will be a slow progress, but it will be changed in this lifetime for the better in your perception. Your perception is now that it is bad, and we would say that as you judge things that are bad or good, go to the space in between and observe from there. What is the space in between good and bad? What is the space in between the polarities? What is the space in between the contrast? When one says that something is bad, the other one would believe that the opposite is good. We would say, what is the space in between the polarities? This is where you will find consciousness. This is where you will find all that is. This is where you will observe without judgment. This is the space in between the polarities. What is your perception at this time? Are you seeing things in the world happening at this time as something bad or something good? When you are judging it as something bad, it cannot be transmuted back to love, as there is a judgment lying upon it. If you go to the space in between and observe it without judgment, you will be able to transmute it back to love from there. We would say that many of you in the collective are seeing your systems being shattered. You're seeing where you trusted the health system, the medical system, the religion, the religious systems, the political systems, the educational systems, the policing systems. All of these systems, you are seeing that you can no longer trust them. We would say this is a perception that we are excited about, because as you perceive this, you will begin to look in instead of out. It needed to get loud in order for you to be motivated to change. We understand that it was quite a painful process for many of you on planet Earth, but you were not alone this week. We were with you all. We were always with you. We would like to remind everyone that they have all played the polarities on planet Earth. You have played each game. You have played the games of the perpetrator, and you have played the games of the victim. But we would say that in the lifetimes that you played the perpetrator is the lifetimes that you are having difficulty with right now. But Saint Germain, right now I am a victim. I am a victim of all this chaos and all this disrespect. And we would say that in the lifetimes that you were the perpetrator, it was not your true essence. When you harmed another or hurt another, it was uncomfortable for the conscious love within you to accept this. These are the lifetimes that you were all transmuting back to love. Is the lifetimes that you were the perpetrator. The lifetimes you were the victim were easier to transmute for soul expansion, as it was more of in your nature. We would say that all of you are playing each part of all the games. If you are experiencing hate and at this time, you have experienced the polarity of that in another lifetime. If you are the one that is hating, you have experienced the polarity of that in another lifetime. If you are the one that is being hated, you've experienced the polarity of that, and so on. We would say that all of these games, you have each played each role, and all of the roles are important ones. We would say to perceive everything as in the perception of energy. What would it look like if I transmuted frequencies and changed the energy of fear back to love, or anger back to love, or hate back to love? What would this look like? We would say that as you continue on your journey on planet Earth, there will be more waves and more waves crashing. There will be more disruptions on the Earth. We would say that there would be more rippling effects. There would be loud ones, as the ones that you have transmuted this past week. It rippled across the planet. We would say that this will happen again in other ways as it ripples across the planet and the waves get larger. Stay in the boat. Remember that you are not alone. We are here with you always. This is that you are bringing to the collective, bringing to consciousness as a collective. You are bringing to the surface everything that needs to be transmuted from fear back to love. One moment, please. We would say, as you continue your journey, we are here for you and with you. You are not alone. We understand it is quite a painful process from your perception to go through the dark night of the soul. We would say that you are not alone during this. Call on us. We are here. You do not need terror to connect. We are here. Tune into the subtle energies around you. Tune into the perceptions of the energies around you. Tune in to the change that you have made in this past week. Can you feel the shift? There has been new frequencies brought onto the planet, and they are integrated into the collective at this time. You have made these changes. You have been the ones who have made the changes yourselves. You have done this as a collective consciousness. You are seeing each other as separated as you fight your battles, but we would say from a spiritual perspective, you have done this all equally, hand in hand, side by side, and with much love for each other from a soul perspective. Can you see it from our point of view? Can you see it from our perception? What would it look like in the space between the polarities? What if something wasn't neither good nor bad, right nor wrong? We would say that faith is trusting in the absence of evidence. Can you have faith and continue to see the world in the eyes of love? Can you have faith when you feel alone? Can you have faith when you feel left in the dark? This is where we would say to trust that we are with you. All is well.